Shiver me timbers. Ain't him from the yard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one, the only Rumboyz After Dark. As always, it is your host, Le Admiral Robbie J, and I'm joined by the crew. We're still Nick Howard. I just realized Nick Howard isn't here. I was just chilling and relaxing. But as always, we got JD of Rumboyz Central, rumboyz.com, Jordan Love, our junior writer over at rumboyz.com, a.k.a. Mini Todd McShay. And then, of course, the homie Jake, all the way out of Ohio of Rumboyz Combat. What is good, homie?
Doing well.
Hell yes. Fellas, how you guys doing?
Excellent. Feeling good.
Good.
How are you, Jordan Love?
I'm straight. I'm ready to get back into this.
Hell yeah.
It's been a minute since I've been on here. So let's go.
Let's go. Well, as always, first off, before we get into the ceremonious cheers, make sure you guys catch us over on Sportscaster. If you are on YouTube, you guys subscribe and also sign up for rumboyz.com. Check out these gentlemen' fine work over on rumboyz.com. Also, app coming soon. So we're getting that up, moving it
soon.
Oh, working on it, man. But
sounds epic.
Without further ado, we got to get into it. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do? Dilly.
Dilly.
Cheers, y'all. JD, take it away.
All right. Robbie J, college coaches are trending upwards with names like Urban Meyer and Lincoln Riley being linked to NFL head coaching jobs. Is this where the NFL is heading, and is this good for the league?
So I do think that this is where the NFL is heading. Unfortunately, I don't want it to be heading into this direction because, this is the NFL that I've grown up on and I've been accustomed to has always been, the old guard. But this is good for the players, unfortunately. Fortunately for the players, actually. Let me reword that. How it may look on TV, the level of ball that we're going to see, that remains to be said and remains to be seen. But for the players, the game is becoming a younger man's game currently, with the changing of the guard and with all the quarterbacks, different receivers, so on and so forth. It's going to lessen down the terminology. It's going to get guys like Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones, so on and so forth, more acclimated to the game because they're going to have guys that are going to know their terminology coming right from college. So that's going to be something that it is going to make it easier on the players. How exciting it looks on TV for us remains to be seen.
Jake Miller, any thoughts on college coaches trending upwards and the game becoming more college-like?
I think regardless of the coaches there, NFL coaches currently are going to copy the college game anyways, just to get the players they draft more acclimated quickly because they like their rookie contracts. So they're going to get the player in a good position while they're rookies to figure out and actually win with them before they have to pay them. But it depends. In terms of coaches, Lincoln Riley, I do see as a guy that can make it, but some coaches in college are bigger control freaks than the NFL guys. Saban and Meyer do not seem like guys that can deal with grown men who want to do their own thing and go out on the weekends of a game. So my concern would be for those guys, but I think the more carefree, more players coaches, I might be calling a whole generation soft football players, but players coaches I think are going to be more prevalent soon, with these college guys coming up into the NFL being more relatable to them. So I think it's going to be a wait and see. But overall, the guys that are more friendly to their players and more overall just willing to let the players live, they'll be fine. I think they'll translate very well. But Urban Meyer, like that part of the question, I don't see it. He's a control freak.
Is it more about personality or scheme?
I think the scheme's coming regardless. The personality's big. Urban Meyer is not going to control NFL players like he does college players. So, but the scheme's coming. I mean, they're changing the NFL offenses. So, there's no avoiding that. The NFL is going to change.
And just to second that notion, that's what makes me think, especially with a guy like Meyer, that's what makes me think that he's going to go to DC and take that job despite whatever else is offered to him, because he knows he can go there. He can kind of, bark at Haskins. He can bark at McLaurin, and they're going to respond to that.
So yeah, you think Meyer is going to go to the Redskins? That's your prediction?
I don't want it to happen. We all know.
You don't want it to happen?
We all know who I want. Eric Bieniemy, but it is what it is.
You want the enemy?
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan Love, what have you been seeing with college, the transition between college game?
Similar to what Jake said, I think a lot of NFL organizations are trying to make that transition period for their bigger name college players and their team a lot more cohesive and easier, especially for big positions like cornerbacks and quarterbacks. There's a big speed change. There's a lot more that they have to understand and break down. The easier it makes on them, the more likely that they're going to succeed. And we kind of all see that with Dwayne Haskins right now. He struggled mightily when he started because that transition period. Last few weeks, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, he's looked like he has that potential to be a franchise quarterback.
When I was growing up, I noticed that, like, you couldn't do the things that you could do in college. Is the transition
that's gone.
Lack of defense, or is it, let's touch on that. Is it lack of defense, or is it improved offensive skills, or is it the rules?
Okay. Personally, it depends what conference you're coming from, in my opinion. That Big Ten, no defense anywhere in sight. That's completely offense. That's 60 points a game. But it's tough to get a gauge on that since there's a lot of variation when it comes to the college football game. There's lower level schools everywhere. A lot of teams take advantage of easy schedules, so I can't really answer that fully.
I would say that because it's becoming a younger man's game. That's why it's kind of making it to where it's acceptable, where they can come in, and maybe take charge of the NFL. But we've also seen this before, like you mentioned, JD. We've seen when Saban was an NFL coach, he was absolutely terrible as an NFL coach.
Yes, and I will also add to that. Pete Carroll failed miserably his first time in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Went to college, came back, and was successful. So he changed his ways too. But it depends on the position too, because another thing colleges that have these big offenses, spread offenses, take advantage of is the hash marks. And in college, the longer hash marks, you can run a sweep, get that lineman out there, take it to the house with a speedy back. When you have, 3/4 of the field on one side, you have an extra 15 yards, I think, for the hashes. So it's tougher to build an offense, but I think the passing scheme from college will translate no matter what. The run schemes not really. Yeah, the run schemes don't, just because the hash mark, you can't get to the outside, you can't have blockers line up until you turn the corner. But the passing scheme will transfer, and the Patriots were the first to do it with a short passing game.
I mean,
of course.
You see with the RPOs, that was a strictly college thing 5-6 years ago. That's half of NFL teams' playbook now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the game's changed for sure on that one, and I don't see it stopping. I do see an interesting trend though. I don't see quarterbacks scrambling, taking hits, and running on their second contract. I don't know how they're going to deal with Mahomes and Lamar on their second contract like this. Because when you're paying a dude to do this, it's going to be a lot tougher to let him run or scramble and take the hits, run around.
I think that's becoming more prevalent because of the situations of Andrew Luck and RG3.
Is quarterbacking under center going extinct?
No, not extinct. Is it becoming
just changing,
less likely and dwindling down a lot? Yeah. There's always going to be a spot for it in this game. There's a running back on the field. Let's not forget that. He's there.
And play action passing won't go away.
Exactly. It's always going to be part of the game, no matter what. And even if it becomes less likely, the even better it becomes because of scheming.
They fake pass to run. You notice that? It's like totally
Yeah, they run shotgun a lot. Yeah.
Well, I can say
it's actually getting scary near the wishbone in a way of you have the back behind all the time or back right there. It was the quarterback or the running back would run it. Now the quarterback has the throwing and running option, which is really scary for teams.
Especially if you have a guy like Lamar Jackson. I mean, just forget about it at that point.
Hey, man, Cleveland Browns are playing. I don't want to think about that one right now. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm just looking forward to it.
With like the RPOs, just different things like that, and the way that play calling has changed. This is now happening at all levels. Even studying the playbook that I have received, there's a lot of different, trickeries and motion. And this is fucking flag football in a charity for Toys for Tots Bowl. Okay. Which, by the way, anyone that is viewing or anyone that goes back and watches this, if you are in the Colorado Springs area, just bring a $5 toy, donate. It's for a good cause. You don't have to be playing in order to donate. But another thing, kind of with that, I mean, this is happening across all levels. I know that if we're running out there, and I know what plays that I was running before when I was playing football and plays that we have now, two totally different things. So this is the direction of the new NFL. It is going to be a lot of motion, a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of RPO style type of plays. A lot of different pulling of guards and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, maybe having these younger, coaches and, kind of like these player coaches, it's not a bad thing for the league. I mean, we've also talked about the issues that players have off the field with social media. Having a player coach that understands you may not be a bad thing in today's game and for today's type of player.
Well, and you see the confusion, too, where I've seen more illegal formation penalties this year than I've seen the last 6 years combined. And teams are learning what they can and can't do in the NFL. But have you noticed that, too? With your team where it's just a random call where you just don't know what happened, but you didn't know a player can do that? You just see things where these matchups, and they're moving the wideouts around where you just can't do certain things. And there's rules in the NFL that are much stricter than college, and they're definitely hurting teams now. But eventually, teams are going to learn what you can and can't do, and it might be arena football type stuff.
To piggyback
where you
on
could have these.
I saw more illegal man downfield penalties this year. So like ineligible receiver downfield. Mm-hmm. Going back a few years ago, 5 years ago, I didn't even know that was a call.
Yep. Oh, because the RPOs.
It just was
every
never there.
play is a run block. Yeah, these guys just plow him downfield. Every play is a run block.
Right.
And if they throw it, it's a 15-yard pass out of the play. It's still a penalty.
Right.
Because you can't do that. You can't go. It's an extra. I think you get 6 yards in college or something, or 5.
In the NFL, I think it's a 5-yard penalty. But
yeah, but I think it's a 3 yards downfield.
No, they can only go 1 yard. No, they can only go 1 yard. It's 1 yard.
College is 3 then. College is 3 then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I know it's different where in college they set it up where every play is a run block, so they just maul the defensive line every play.
Yeah.
Sharing this out right now. Next topic is fantasy football championships are here. So name 3 players that you must start in your championship roster this weekend: quarterback, running back, and wide receivers / tight end.
All right.
I'm gonna let
3
you guys.
must starts.
I'm gonna let you guys go first, and before I let you guys go first, don't say no dumb shit. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm the newbie. I'm not into fantasy much. I'll go first. You can critique me on this.
Okay.
You have to start Lamar, 27th ranked run defense for the Browns. Carson, 25th run defense for the Cardinals, and Michael Thomas, 25th pass defense for the Titans.
I like it. Good job. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm going for my For my quarterback, I'm definitely going to agree. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. I think at this point, everybody knows he's a must start. Running back, Joe Mixon. They're playing the Dolphins. They're 28th in run defense. Awful. And as for my wide receiver, I'm going to go a little bit less known. I'm going to go Mike Williams. Past 2 weeks, he's found the end zone, picked it up a lot, and he's playing the Raiders, who are not playing that much defense as of right now.
I like Hopkins and obviously Jackson.
Obviously, we're all going to say Jackson. Who was your running back again, Jordan Love?
Joe Mixon. They're playing the Dolphins.
I was going to say Elliott, but I'll agree with him on Joe Mixon because they're playing the
Dolphins. The Dolphins.
Okay, I'm going to first state this. This is all right, guys. If you have Joe Mixon in your lineup, you are not in a championship game. The numbers show that.
I'm not.
You're not. What championship game are you in?
Not in yours.
Yeah. It's definitely got to be in another league, and it's definitely got to be against people that suck ass. Because literally, the only about 0.2% would have Joe Mixon here. All right. So with that being said, JD, do you want to take a whack at this?
Oh, I thought I'd get okay. Mine's I chose well, just to be different, I'll say Patrick Mahomes. He's coming back, and I guess somebody said to a scout that he's been really spinning it. So I think he's gonna start to catch wind right before the playoffs happen, and maybe he'll make some noise. And then I'll agree with Jordan Love on Joe Mixon. And for wide receiver, I would say I'll say Hopkins just because I don't know, he's great. Hopkins. I always like Hopkins.
Were the Texans playing this week? I know it's an easy matchup. I just can't remember who it is.
Check that.
Bucks, yeah, that's a definite start. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
they should
Hopkins,
get the division.
Jake.
I'd be surprised.
Jake, out of the three of them, you definitely won that.
Hey,
Okay, wait.
You know what I do? I go to Google and I look up 3 players I like, and I see the opposing passing and rushing defense, and I see, okay,
Hey.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Hey, Robbie, all I'm gonna say is I changed your mind on Kenyon Drake. I was right about that. And let's see what happens this week.
You didn't change my mind. He changed my mind.
Okay, yeah, but guess who was on that train the whole time? Me? Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Where's Nick at?
Okay.
We're waiting on it.
Crazy Mofo, what's up?
He'll be here soon. He'll be here soon, man. I know he was out at a family dinner like a couple of hours ago. I don't know if he's still there or not. So I am going to go. In order for you to must win in your championship this week, must win players that you need. Ryan Tannehill. Okay. If you do not go Ryan Tannehill, then like I mentioned earlier, have you not seen that Ryan Tannehill's fucking QB2?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Trust me, I've seen it. But
What's the one
hot hand, man? He has a hot hand.
What's the one quarterback above Tannehill right now in fantasy football?
Lamar Jackson, I believe.
Exactly. So, due to analytics, you roll with Tannehill. Okay. Now, another one. Let's go. Let's go running back. Matt Boone. Either Matt Boone or Raheem Mostert. Okay? Both those guys are going to be high-volume guys this weekend. They have been high-volume guys in the last few weeks. You are perfectly fine with either one of those. And now, finally, wide receivers. You guys, let's see. If you want to go with the stack method, let's go A.J. Brown. Okay, so you can put Tannehill and A.J. Brown, one on top of the other. Boom, now you got the stack. Hell. Or even Anthony Miller for the Bears. He's been so consistent. No one realized how Mr. Trubisky has supported 2 top 20 fantasy targets, and as sucky as he has played over the last 10 weeks and has been steady with those guys. So Bears receivers are good for you to work with this week too.
Got something to prove.
You got to win a championship. Hell, Rashad Perryman's a must too.
The Bears just don't want to be a failure. They want to be at least 500. All right. The team that could surprise everyone. Robbie J, the Jaguars fired Tom Coughlin, and Minshew ruined the Raiders' going away party last week. Given the grievance cases and this young QB at the helm, is it time for the Jags to rebuild around this young nucleus, or should they trade him?
You know, the biggest piece about the firing of Coughlin is those grievances. 25%. So the NFLPA, which, I mean, kind of fucked NFL teams, you know, by doing this, I guess released that 25% of I guess, you know, when you look at players that are happy or grievances that are filed against a team, 25% of them are all against the Jags. The Jags lead the league, I guess, in looking at it as customer satisfaction or employee satisfaction. Okay. The NFLPA released this survey. Of course, Coughlin is fired. This kind of ties into our first subject earlier, where these younger players, these younger guys, you know, you can't find them and you can't hit them with things that you used to do back in the day. Coughlin was pretty much out there unnecessarily finding players. So now that Coughlin is gone, Jacksonville, you know, there was really only one good year under Coughlin in the first place. This is your chance to rebuild, and you absolutely positively have to. And Minshew Mania is a big piece of that. Get Minshew weapons. Minshew will succeed. Keep Nick Foles. Watch your bank go down the toilet for a very long time.
It already is.
Yeah.
It already is.
Jake Miller, my guy. Same question. Do you think Gardner Minshew is the guy in Jacksonville going forward after all we've seen, or do you think they should just trade him and start over?
I'm not sure if he's the guy. I know he's better than Foles right now. So that's what you have to go off of. I don't know how they're going to get him off the books, though, because that's a lot of money to cut a guy. But right now, yeah, Foles is the guy you have to move. And maybe Minshew, bring a vet in and see if he competes for the job. Don't give him the job right away, of course. I don't like giving a quarterback any job unless he's your go-to. You pay him after the rookie contract guy. But, yeah, he's the guy you want to build around. And from there, I mean, they have to rebuild that brand. I mean, Coughlin, he's gone. Coughlin's gone. But at the same time, man, who wants to go there right now? After those grievances, it might not be Coughlin. You never know. So, Minshew might be the guy to bring somebody in if he has a personality, but it's going to be tough for them. I mean, that's not something you want to have to build around as a franchise.
Well, wait. This. Hold on. I'm getting at your neck right now, Jake. So you're saying that Minshew's not the guy to build around, especially after firing?
No. I said give him. He's the guy. Get rid of Foles. Bring a veteran in and let him compete for the job. I'm not saying give him everything right now. Don't give him a new contract. Don't extend him at all. Just let him compete.
Let it play out.
Yeah, he should be the guy. He should be the 70-30 guy. Yeah.
70-30 rule. Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, he's a 70-30 guy. You want him to be your starter, but don't lock it in. Yeah. But I'm not going to say a guy that's played half the season is going to be a quarterback for the next 10 years. I mean, that's
A lot of people compared him to Tony Romo, and maybe.
Hey, I would take that. I mean, Jacksonville would too, I'm sure.
He harnesses all of your wins, Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, they. I don't see how they keep Foles. I do not see it. They'll eat it. They have money, so the ownership will cut him probably. But yeah, I mean, he's a 70-30 guy. I don't say any quarterback who's on his rookie contract still is going to be that go-to guy. But yeah, he's as close.
Really quick before I'm sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt, and I know that's a big rule that we have, but I just want to say how beautiful of a breath of fresh air when you see an organization fire a GM and how we're already talking about culture can change. Washington Redskins, please take notes. Bruce Allen, go. Continue, my brother. Continue. I'm sorry, but this hits home.
Hey, I'm good, man. I mean, I made my point, I think. So, J Love can go.
So, of course, Tom Coughlin was fired. He's the guy that gave Nick Foles that $25 million contract that season. Of course. Once they saw him play a game and he was benched, Tom Coughlin had to go. Everybody on this panel will tell you Nick Foles is a backup. Nick Foles at max is worth $6 million a season. Nick Foles is not your guy. Guess what? He thought different. And you know what's even worse about this? The Jags, everybody's like, they can make moves this offseason. Da-da-da-da-da. They can't. They're negative $8 million in the salary cap right now, going into next season.
Wait, say that again?
The Jags, as of right now, they have a couple players that they can cut to make a little bit more space.
Yeah, Calais Campbell. He's ancient.
Listen, just the salary cap this offseason is $200 million. As of right now, if the Jags make no moves, no contract extensions, nothing, they are sitting at $208,267,985 on the salary cap. Moves they can make, they can cut Marcel Darius,
They
they
went
can cut
for
a
it.
couple
They went
offensive
for it.
linemen. They tried their best, however, it's flown right in the toilet. Luckily, Telvin Smith is coming back, who's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. He sat out this year because, personally, I think he knew the Jags were going to be bad, and he doesn't want that against his resume. He's a guy that's hoping that he can make a Pro Bowl, and he didn't want to be on this roster. They have a high draft pick. They can help out this team a little bit, but again, unless you make a whole bunch of moves, make a lot of cuts, just cut ties with a whole bunch of players, you're looking at another season of just complete atrocity.
I like it. I like it. I like it. And yes, I want Nick Foles. Crazy Mofo asked if I want Nick Foles on the Bears. Yes, I do.
I mean, he's better than. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it.
He doesn't make that much money. He makes a lot, but not compared. No, we'll take him.
Who?
Nick Foles.
Foles makes like
what is good. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Foles is guaranteed $17 million next year. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's 17 million. It's not like it's 25 or 30.
So wait, but think about this. So you have two quarterbacks on the roster, and the last year of a rookie contract's like $10 million for the quarterback you drafted. You're gonna have
a lot of faith in him.
You're gonna have $27 million in a quarterback. For two quarterbacks that you don't trust.
Hey, so I found out why.
I mean, that's not a good thing to have.
I found out why the Jags are so far in the hole. They're paying they're paying Blake Bortles $17 million next year.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that's not good. Yeah, you talk about having quarterback cap space problem.
Oh, and by the way, the team's gonna get worse. Yannick Ngakoue, one of the best young edge rushers, 25 years old, has like 40 career sacks already. They can't give him an extension unless they franchise tag him, which is already something he's expressed he doesn't want to play under.
Nope.
He's gone.
And
And
will they finally cut Calais Campbell and just get out of that contract?
That's a lot of money. Marcel Darius can get cut. Telvin Smith could get traded. But even then, once you trade a guy, you're still taking a little bit of that salary back against your to take that dead money as a trade exception. There's so many things here that they just don't play into the job.
Hey, man, they went for it when they thought they had Bortles there, and it just didn't work.
Okay, I will say this though, Tom Coughlin, you did make one smart move. You did trade Jalen Ramsey
Go downstairs.
for 2 first-round picks. That is a very smart idea at the current moment, knowing that you're tanking and that Ramsey, while he's a great player, he couldn't even make this defense that good.
right, that wasn't a bad. That wasn't bad. We'll stay with you, Jordan Love, on the next question. Actually, yeah, we'll stay with you, Jordan Love, on the next question. So we don't have any. Do we have any fantasy stardom sit-em? I'll ask one more NFL question.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's bring. Let's go into NFL with the fantasy start and sit. If you guys do have fantasy questions, drop them in the chat. And we'll get them. I did drop a fantasy episode before this. Hopefully, I answered as many of them as I could. But if you do have them, it is Fantasy Championship weekend, and we want to make sure that we get y'all that trophy. Trophies.
Hell yeah. Let's play Keep 'em or Fire 'em. Jordan Love, Keep 'em or Fire 'em. Freddie Kitchens, Cleveland Browns. Keep 'em or Fire 'em.
I understand that the Browns have already expressed that they want to keep Freddie Kitchens around. I'm firing him. You have all this talent on this roster, and it's kind of apparent that he doesn't know what to do on defense. The Browns' defense has been atrocious this year at everything except for playing against the run, which is something that teams don't do too much against them, knowing that they can expose that secondary, even though they have one of the best young corners in the NFL in Denzel Ward. It doesn't make sense. They need to get a defensive-minded coach in there. Possibly bring back Freddie Kitchens as that OC to continue developing with Baker Mayfield. That's what I would do.
Jake Miller, that's one for Fire 'em. Do you agree with Jordan Love, or would you keep Freddie Kitchens?
See, I'm so back and forth on this because the Browns have fired so many coaches too early.
Why?
And I get they failed elsewhere, but at the same time, it's one of those you don't want to keep firing coaches. And firing another coach after a first year, after Chedinsky, is not the best thing. But right now, Monken, I think, has a better mindset of the offense going forward. And Monken can be an offensive coach. And I think a defensive guy would help things. So I do agree with Jay Love, and I hate to say we're firing another first-year head coach, but yeah, I don't like saying that. But
bring back Greg
Browns
Williams.
Is there?
Oh no! That defense is not that good. They forced turnovers, but they were still like 28th in the league in defense total. They were not that good. But yeah, I don't like firing coaches after the first year, but it's still, yeah.
But I don't
know. Yeah,
he had 7 wins with the Browns.
My issue with Freddie Kitchens is like there's always going to be bad teams. At the end of the day, one team's going to win a game, one team's going to lose. But if you're going to be bad and you know you're going through this transition period, at least have that coach show signs of improvement, show signs that he has something moving forward. Freddie Kitchens, to me, has not shown that at all. Like, at all this season. I compare it.
He's lost us 4 games.
This is going to sound really bad, but I'm comparing it to the Steve Wilkes situation in Arizona. Neither coach showed any sign of improvement, that they had any control over that team, that they had command over the huddle, and they took young quarterbacks and kind of tarnished a year for them. That hurt their confidence.
Yeah,
and when you can rattle a guy like Baker Mayfield's confidence, there's something wrong.
I heard Jarvis Landry asked the Cardinals to come and trade for him to get him off the Browns after the game. Yeah, I mean that's undisciplined.
No, it wasn't after the game. It was during.
It wasn't after the game. It was during the game. Oh my God, that's even worse.
On the sideline, yeah.
Oh,
well, no, he said, "Get me away from this guy." So that he pretty much said, "Get me away from Freddie Kitchens."
Oh, that's direct. Yeah, I mean you got to fire him.
So he said, "Get me away from this guy," and
Robbie
So,
J, you
yeah,
got a different
Yeah.
opinion?
It's not great.
So yeah, we're all in unanimous decision here. In that regard, motherfucker, you gotta go. You gotta
I'm outta
go.
here.
Like I don't know where you gonna go, but it can't be around here because Cleveland's trying to change culture, and that's what they came into the season thinking that was gonna happen. And I'm sorry, with that shitty playbook,
You ain't doing nothing.
like, yeah, you're not doing anything. Like, you know, I'm sorry, you know, they exactly. I agree with Eric Talk Sports right here. Bring back Greg Williams. You should have never let him go you should have never made that decision in the first place. You were winning.
He's that dude.
If you have a hot hand, if I got a hot hand, I'm not about to until that hot hand burns me. What am I doing? And here's the thing: the hot hand didn't even burn you. You just up and left.
They bit the hand that fed them.
Just the potential that it could have burnt made them leave.
Here's the thing: they didn't even allow potential to set in.
Exactly.
They got rid of him while they were on their high, while they were at their peak.
I wrote about this a while ago.
You want to talk about the most dumb timed decision in NFL history? It's terms of firing a coach. Cleveland Browns, you fucking get the award because right when you were up, you got rid of the person that had you up. It's like when a dude is with a chick, right? And she's loyal, she holds you down, she cooks, she cleans, and what do? You go cheat. You stupid! You're dumb! Like, what are you doing? Like, y'all got kids together? Like, what are you doing? That's what y'all did with Greg Williams. Y'all had the good bad bitch, and you cheated.
He had Baker Mayfield all swagged out. He had the whole team swagged out, and I don't get it. I don't get why Baker didn't want him either, honestly, because that's what ultimately what it came down to. They asked the young Baker Mayfield, which coach do you want? And he was like, I want the guy, the yes man, basically. I want Freddie Kitchens. And they gave it to him.
Why am I? And look, that's so stupid for Dorsey. Okay, why am I going to trust a kid that this motherfucker just barely started drinking?
Exactly.
Like, you just barely
He doesn't know what he needs.
Like, isn't Baker Mayfield like 22, 23?
I think he's 23 now.
He's 20. He's closer to 20. Yeah, he's 24, I think.
Wow.
Because he was in college for a minute.
He's
close to 20.
He's 24.
Yo, you cannot. If I was
He turns 25 in April.
If I was an NFL player, I'd literally be like, at 24 years old, yo, look, just pay me. Don't ask me what the fuck I want. Y'all hired someone by the name of GM that makes those choices. Don't ask me. I mean, I respect you for wanting my input, but lowly value my input. I'm 24 years old.
Well, what was weird with this hire, though, was I think when Baker endorsed Kitchens, he thought he was getting a similar playbook. But the issue came up with Monken was a choice of the GM. So Dorsey chose Monken to run the offense. And Baker, I think, thought that Kitchens would run an offense or make the playbook. But they're using the playbook of Monken that Kitchens is calling from. So it's really a power struggle right now there. That is a mess.
Like I said, bring back Kitchens as the OC. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the best option. If he has
Robbie, I see your face.
If he can swallow his pride.
Hey, I see your face. But an offensive coordinator is more closely to a quarterback than a head coach. It's proven that he has a great relationship with Baker Mayfield, and even though that's not proving like fact right now, they're not using his playbook. When they were last year, they were succeeding. Go back to that playbook.
Well, he was using Haley's playbook. I will say that.
Yeah,
it was Haley's playbook. But yeah.
Then give him a chance to run his own playbook.
Because they fired him. Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's just
he's done.
It's just Kitchens.
He's done as a head coach. Okay, listen. There's a major difference between a head coach and a coordinator. We all know this.
There is.
Huge
like,
difference.
he could be the coach. I don't know.
Kitchens is a good coordinator. Is he a good head coach? No. No. Get him away from the head coaching job. Keep him away.
Yep.
Right.
Possibly
Is
look
it
at him
too
as
late
that
though to
coordinator.
bring him back? And will he kill his ego to be just a coordinator?
I'm sure he would.
Too late
No,
for him.
because he was just a quarterback's coach. He was, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was just a quarterback's
He was a
coach.
running backs coach, actually.
oh, he's a running
backs
back coach. Okay. Damn.
Yeah, not
Where'd
a
he come
quarterback.
from?
Arizona. He was an assistant for 11 years in Arizona and never got promoted.
Bruh,
Mhm.
how do you have Jarvis freaking Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Chubb? I don't give a fuck who's quarterback.
Kareem
I
Hunt,
don't care who's quarterback.
David Njoku.
I could be quarterback. No.
You got David Njoku hurt. Like, I don't care. That injury on David Njoku, not David Njoku. That's all Baker Mayfield's fault. All
That's
Baker
Mayfield's
Mayfield's fault, dog.
He put him in an awful spot.
You know,
That was his
hit.
fault. Yeah.
That
I
hit.
killed that dude. Twice. He killed that dude twice this year, by the way.
Yeah.
I literally
2 times. 2 concussions this year from
NFL Rum Zone. I literally called it on NFL Rum Zone. I was like, yo, he literally just killed David Njoku again. I was like, he did it twice. Who the fuck? Like, and did you see the passes that Ricky Seals-Jones gets? Clean. Like, no.
Okay, as a Cardinals fan, give those balls to Ricky Seals-Jones. Let him take those hits. Because Buddy couldn't catch in Arizona. Like,
but overall,
let him die.
this topic is
It's a
Haslam and
painful one.
Dorsey don't get along.
Okay, who's
End of topic. But
next coach?
Next coach that we're firing. Or we may keep. We don't know.
I'll start with Jake because he's in the middle here. So keep him or fire him. Adam Gase, New York Jets.
This is so easy. It's so better.
Yeah.
Next coach.
Dude.
Next coach.
that,
Gone.
it's
Get him
gone.
out.
I'm
Get him
sorry.
out. Gone.
This dude,
Gone.
You
I
said
get
gone.
first-year head coach.
Actually.
Gone.
Really?
Yeah.
First,
You guys think
he's a
he should be
first-year
gone?
coach.
Okay, wait. Stop.
Yeah. Why do I disagree?
31st offense in the NFL.
Yeah, but
Turned a
he
promising
only had 1
quarterback
year.
into a guy who doesn't look like he belongs in the NFL. Has made Le'Veon Bell, who was a franchise running back, look like he shouldn't even deserve that contract.
He took
Paid out
Tannehill
money
and
to
he's a good
defensive players.
coach.
Hasn't
Wait, he
even
what?
played.
Oh, paid out money to defensive
Paid out
players
money
who
to
haven't played.
defensive players and has literally the worst defense in the NFL.
Okay, I mean, yeah, his defense is atrocious, but I mean, he's made it to the playoffs with the freaking Dolphins, man, and Tannehill and Jay Cutler and Brock Osweiler. He won some games. Like, I mean, he's not a crappy coach. That's what I'm saying. If you can find someone better to come to the Jets, it is an appealing job. But who's a better option right now? That's my question.
Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley, every coordinator in the NFL, every defensive coordinator, every QB coach, every running backs coach, every offensive line coach.
If you can get a better candidate, sure, get rid of him. But if you can't,
Byron left.
he's still
Tampa Bay over.
Oh, I'd hire Byron Leftwich if he's available. If he wants that job, I'd hire him. He'd be a good option. If you want to try some different things, I get it. But I mean, let's be fair. He had a lot of injuries. The roster wasn't very good, and what's his name had Sam Darnold had mono for half the season, and he started getting there was a rhythm there for a little while, just a little while. There was a rhythm. Yeah, he's fallen off in recent weeks, but I don't know.
He came into a goddamn press conference looking like freaking Johnny Depp.
I can see that.
Just like
I hate him.
That meme was great, by the way.
You think he's done?
Great.
You think he's okay?
Please roast
All right.
Adam Gase. I'm done with Adam Gase.
Next
Done
one.
with that. Okay, next one. All right. I got my pokes in, but let's see. All right, this is the last one I have, at least right now. If you guys want to bring it
if you say Dan Quinn,
I'm gonna go get a beer.
No, we already did that last week, actually.
I'm gonna say
Dan Quinn is gone.
give somebody that's not obvious.
Brian Flores. Keep him or fire him. He was a rookie head coach last year.
This is a good one. I like this. Jake, go ahead and start.
I like Brian Flores. I do. I think this is the one time a Bill Belichick disciple might make it. He's changing culture right now. He found the guys that want to be there, and I think you have to give him at least 2 more years to figure it out. Simple as that. They're not good now. I get it. They're competitive. They're playing hard, and I do like that the team that's there is playing hard. He'll find his guys, and I think he's a guy that'll hold his team accountable. I like the guy.
Is Josh Rosen even worth keeping for next year?
No.
So just
I don't
draft
like. I mean,
cut him.
So this is very similar to going back to a Cleveland Browns player, Corbett, where you draft a guy late second round, early second round, late first, and he just doesn't work out. Just move on from him. You'll draft a guy, figure it out. But Flores is a guy I think you can coach a football team. And let him find his guys, let him get his quarterback, let him get the offensive guys in there and figure it out. But yeah, I like Flores.
The thing is players like him. I think that's important in the NFL right now, probably.
Was the players he's finding the guys that buy in too.
Yeah.
Find the guys that buy in and figure it out, build from there. That's the key.
Real important.
All right.
So Brian Flores, keep him or fire him. Jake says keep him.
Brian Flores, yeah, you definitely got to keep him. You definitely have to keep him. It hasn't been long enough. You just got all these draft picks. Those aren't even his guys that he's running with out there, really. He needs an opportunity to go and get his guys, whether that's via free agency, whether that's, whatever the case may be through the draft. This is a coach that I actually want to see succeed. Believe it or not, this is an organization that I want to see succeed. I saw today, Don Shula, one of the all-time great coaches. He got elected to the NFL 100 all-time coaches or whatever. Dude, this organization has had some great memories. That's highlights. You're only gonna get back to that period in time. History repeats itself. You're only going to get back to that by establishing stability. And right now is a time to where you can go ahead and you can do that with especially all the stock in the draft that you have.
All right. Keep him or fire him. Jordan Love. Brian Flores.
You keep Brian Flores, no doubt. No doubt. X's and O's, he's a good coach. He's gotten this awful. Okay. Beyond awful. This is the worst NFL roster I have ever seen in my lifetime.
She's gonna follow you.
No.
You good?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. You definitely keep Brian Flores. He's worth it. He's gotten this atrocious roster. Worst roster I've ever seen. 3 wins. He makes them work hard. There's no doubt in my mind that he is going to be the lone Bill Belichick disciple, as Jake said, to make it. He's going to make it.
And if he does it with this organization, that's even more special.
John Morant just teabagged Levine a little bit ago. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Is it on TV?
It's on Twitter. I just
You mean Kevin Love?
Oh, maybe it was last night. Okay, it must have been last night then.
Kevin Love.
Oh, is it Kevin
almost
Love?
Died.
Oh yeah, it was Kevin Love. I'm sorry. I don't know why
Love,
I said
he missed the dunk.
Yeah, it was Levine.
That's why
So it looked like the Bulls jerseys. Anyway, all right, we
Cavs make the playoffs next year. It's cool.
Hold on,
ready to move on to what's up? Okay.
Fantasy question. It hasn't popped up here in the StreamYard screen, but I see it early in YouTube.
Okay.
Should I start Patrick Mahomes or Jackson this week for the championship? Jackson. Jackson. That's you.
Jackson.
Envious you have
Browns
both of
fan.
them.
Or Jackson.
Is that like a FanDuel type of thing?
Probably.
Weekly? Probably, yeah.
If it was daily. Even if it was daily, that's not even a – yeah.
That's crazy. Next one?
Yep.
All right, NBA. Switching to NBA. The Lakers, Robbie J, we'll start with you. The Lakers have lost their last 2 road games, and honestly, the road has been trouble for this team with the turnover flu. Have the Lakers been exposed, or what? And what do they need to do to ensure that they get over the hump and into the playoffs, or I guess into a high seed?
Sorry, I was making sure I don't know why the chat wasn't updating. What was that, man, again?
Basically, what's up with the Lakers losing 2 road games, and is it a problem? They seem to have a lot of turnovers.
Right. So yeah, we just came off of double losses to the Pacers and then the Bucks, and we've had double-digit turnovers in about the last, I want to say, 6 road appearances. Our road game is absolutely atrocious and absolutely ugly. That's why I did name it the turnover flu. Have we been exposed? I feel like in a way we have, and that we don't have that 3-point shooting off the bench that you need in today's game in order to be sustainable throughout playoffs, and honestly, not even necessarily throughout playoffs, just to score at a high clip to keep up. I get that it's not the same NBA, especially because, one by the name of Stephen Curry, who pour him today, but is not.
It wasn't him.
We obviously know it wasn't fucking him.
Just clear that animosity. It was not him. For anybody that may be confused.
To answer KNN, this THC squad, what's going on with Luka's injury? He'll be back in a week.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with I do feel like we got exposed. We need to figure it out. We need to clean it up. You guys know that on the show the other day with Raj, per an unnamed source that we cannot disclose. I know who it is, but per an undisclosed source that we cannot, name, there is a possibility of maybe Kuzma getting moved
to Chicago.
Really?
I've heard rumors about him going to Chicago for Zach LaVine or Otto Porter.
Zach LaVine would be incredible with LeBron. He would be incredible.
I understand I'm kind of butting in here, but there's been a lot of rumors circulating in the Chicago Bulls right now, whether it's Ben Lowry, Markkanen, Zach LaVine, even Chris Dunn. Another thing that I just saw pop up on my phone a couple minutes ago, Lonzo Ball. I know he's been moved a lot in his career. The Pelicans are at 7-22, and actually there's been leaked rumors about them possibly shipping him off towards the deadline.
Where? Who would want him?
They're shopping him. Get a first-round pick in the future. Pick up an asset that can play off of Zion. I think that they're moving in that area where Zion and Brandon Ingram are going to be their stars.
Ball would be good on the Hornets.
But the Hornets don't need a point guard. Devontae Graham's up for an all-star ballot this year.
No, I understand that, but don't you think you'd be two potential, a playmaker and a shooter? I don't know. That could be nice to have, two potential.
There's 2 spots I could name Lonzo. If the Bulls don't make a move for Drew Holiday, I could see that. The only other spot I could see Lonzo Ball going realistically is Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Ooh.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 spots I would see giving up assets for him.
I mean, it's confusing there because neither of those guys they want to build around would really get the ball or take it up court unless they have a playmaker to get it to them. I feel like Lonzo has to be that guy that'll give him the ball. Might be a good option in New Orleans.
Okay.
Ooh.
Real quick.
I mean, it's one of those things like who's going to replace that if you're going to be a selfless point guard? It's hard for me to think of a better guy than Lonzo.
Real quick. Can I just say something about the fact that Lonzo Ball is not an awful NBA player? He is one of the top five. He's one of the top 5 defensive point guards in this league, no doubt.
Yeah.
He's one of the best passing point guards in this league. The one area where he lacks and which he's ridiculed for is his scoring, in which he's a highly athletic player, and scoring at the rim isn't hard for him.
His free throws are what concerns me, and his health.
His health is really what concerns me.
I mean,
But he's a good player.
That concerns everybody, but even Zion's health is concerning. But nobody's talking
So
about
is
that
Luka's
really.
health, honestly.
That's one injury. I don't.
Well, he's had
overreacting.
2 now within the knees.
But
But
they're
they were both tiny ones.
Yeah, they're both tiny. Everybody's gonna
Mhm.
get those once in a while where it's like,
They were more
okay,
nicks.
I'm out for 2 or 3 weeks, whatever. Robbie,
true.
you play football. I'm sure you've twisted an ankle in almost every single game, gotten up, and then one time you landed on it a little too hard. You had to sit out a game. It happens.
Not everyone is LeBron James, where
Right. Even Jordan sat out
yeah.
for a season.
Yeah, Jordan.
Come on.
Yeah, it's true. All right, next question.
But yeah, I just don't see it.
Okay, never mind. Let's keep it going. You don't see it?
Well, I mean, my last comment. I just don't see a better fit for a unselfish point guard like Lonzo than New Orleans with those 2 guys. I just don't see one.
I heard JJ Redick might be also. We can talk about that for a second because that's
no. The Pelicans don't want to make him available.
who's
That's
more likely
JJ
to get
Redick
traded
wants to
then.
be available.
So
JJ
Drew
Redick
Holiday.
has that streak of I've never missed the playoffs in my career, and I don't want that to end.
Yep.
That's JJ Redick wanting out.
That's what that is. That's just a smoke.
The Pelicans, from what I've heard, is they want to move. They want to move Drew Holiday. Of course, that's at the right price. And Lonzo Ball is not currently available, but he's going to become available. And so far, that's the only 2 players I've heard that they're going to be / are looking to move.
Crazy Mofo says, "What about Kevin Love to the Suns?"
I don't think the Suns want to eat that contract. I don't think anybody wants to eat that contract.
I don't. Yeah. The Suns got
Who would they give up?
The Suns
I wouldn't give up
probably have
anyone.
to send a package of Oubre and Rubio.
Yeah, and would you want to do that for Kevin Love?
No, Kelly Oubre's played.
That's what I'm saying.
Too good.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Just
Aiden's
no.
just coming back. That's it.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
As far as the Suns, I don't see that as a move. You guys have this philosophy of building with the young guys that you have right now, and I think that's a beautiful thing that you have working for you. I see no reason to disrupt that, and then also disrupt the bank that you got rolling for you, because the day is gonna come where you can go for a big superstar, and money's gonna talk, bullshit's gonna walk that day, and you're gonna land him. Kevin Love's not that guy for you right now, but one day that guy's gonna come up. And to also answer your question more about would I trade Kuzma? Absolutely, we already talked about it, especially if we could get a guy like Levine. Jake?
For Levine? Oh, yeah. You trade him for Levine.
Real quick, I
So
wanted to
for
talk
the
about
Lakers concerns.
the Bulls.
Jake, go.
No, that'd be on topic.
Go ahead.
Jake, you go and then we'll...
I'll be quick. Yeah, I just wrote down a sentence here. So the Lakers being the 1 seed does not concern me that much because it looks like the Clippers are going to be that 1 or 2. So if they're a top 2 seed, they're going to play the same place, no travel. So
yeah,
the home road struggles, whatever. LeBron's getting old at this point. Let's be honest. And if you can get the top 2 seed, I don't care how bad you are on the road, you'll be fine.
Watch
and I see
LeBron
that right
play.
now.
Watch him play super conservative in January. Watch him play just ridiculously
I
conservative.
see it. Yeah,
He
no,
does that.
he's going to ghost. And they have
He's
a
gonna
decent
ghost.
lead. Yeah, they have like a 3-game lead, I checked. But as long as they're a top 2 seed, they'll be happy because the Clippers get 1. They're playing 7-game in Staples. I mean, they're not going to. They won't have an issue with that.
I don't see a place at all for Kevin Love. I don't know about you guys. I don't see a place for him or Chris Paul. I don't see a place for them at all.
Whoa.
Anywhere.
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 Whoa. Chris Paul's not top 10 point guard. Chill.
What's up?
Chill.
Bro.
Chris
No, I'm about
Yeah,
to
but here. Let me tell you why though.
Okay.
There's no contender that wants to deal with the late
Okay,
season
listen,
injury
listen,
potential.
Listen.
Listen, Chris Paul, here's why you go and you get Chris Paul, okay? Chris Paul is a difference maker because I just want how he brightens up an atmosphere. 2, that veteran presence. I don't know anyone, you can say, I don't know who wants him or whatever the case may be. We could have made that
Well, they want him, just not for the contract.
But we could have made that argument in regards.
I heard a rumor about it last week.
Listen, we could make arguments in regards to when Melo was in that position, so on and so forth. Chris Paul is never going to be in that position. Do you realize that this dude brought the freaking Oklahoma City Thunder, which that roster is just full of a bunch of young kids.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
Brought them back from a 20 fucking deficit. Like, dude, come on.
There's a rumor surrounding Chris Paul going to the Nuggets.
Well,
Okay.
I'll stick. Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be really good for
The
the
Nuggets need some veteran leadership.
I just
Have
don't know.
contracts with Harris. They can send Michael Porter Jr. in a first-round pick. I understand that's a king's ransom for
I've
Chris
heard he's
Paul.
an untouchable.
I have kind of heard that.
Porter Jr.
I mean,
Porter Jr.
Yeah, but I think,
I would not trade
I
that
think-
dude. Yeah, I would not trade that dude.
I think the Nuggets just need to come to terms with the fact that there is a certain risk that once he starts playing, doctors already told him this.
That
He has a
hamstring.
3 to 5 year window of playing. There's a 50% chance that is true because of his back. He hurt it that bad in college. I think they need to come to terms with that, and I think they need to move on from that.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. I thought you were talking about CP3 for some of it.
That's too risky. Getting CP3, you run CP3 at the 1, then you end up with one of the best 2 guards, in my opinion, in Jamal Murray. He's a good defensive player. He's a great offensive player. That's what he does. You end up with Will Barton at the 3, or you can run him off the bench with Torrey Craig, and you have Paul Millsap and Nikola Jokic. That's a great defensive team, and that's a leadership team now because Jokic doesn't lead. He's quiet. He's an introvert. We've all heard it. And that's a roster that you're looking at can contend with.
That's
nearly
going
anybody.
all in. That's going all in for a ship.
That's his problem. That's Jokic's biggest problem is that he is an introvert and he's such a big presence on the floor, and especially when we look at the box score, he's got to do a lot more in terms of leading that team from a locker room standpoint, or else that team is going to forever be nothing but mediocre because of that.
Crom said if the Thunder are still in the playoff picture, they will keep CP3 and the veteran core. I agree with that. I think and that's actually what we're going to talk about. So I'll ask Jordan Love this question. The Oklahoma City Thunder currently sit at the 7th seed in the West and have shown us flashes of vintage CP3 and the ability to come back from huge deficits. Does this team have what it takes to end as a 7th seed or better, let alone be in the playoff conversation?
By the way, I said this could happen. Everybody was saying this would be a 12-13 seed. I said that they could push for a playoff spot. People called me crazy. Danilo Gallinari is a great second option. Not on a championship team, on a playoff team. Great second option. SGA's played amazing. He's looking like he could be a franchise point guard. But they're playing him shooting guard, and he's looked even better than he did last year on the Clippers. Then, of course, Chris Paul's looking like his old self. He's still a top 10 point guard despite that contract being a turnoff. He's still averaging 17 and 8 at the current moment.
Yeah.
That's still fine. And you still have Steven Adams on that roster. They can still make that playoff push, but I do think that their GM is just too smart. And he looks for the future at this current moment, and he's probably going to ship off Danilo Gallinari and Chris Paul at this deadline, knowing that their future is in the hands of SGA, Hamidou Diallo, Terrence Ferguson, and those guys moving forward. And you can pick up a guy like James Wiseman, who could fall in the draft because of his college concerns.
Follow up. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Follow-up question, but I actually want to get all of you guys. Actually, I want to get you guys' answers first. I'm sorry, I interrupted the wrong time.
So what I want to go ahead and what I want to state is I agree with pretty much everything with J Love's take, especially once it gets to the end there. Well, okay, I don't want to say that I had agreed at first, because at first I had some smoke that I want to come with, but then when you mentioned, Chase Wiseman potentially falling, them getting him, you're right. That now alters the thinking. And when you look at the Thunder GM and what he's done throughout history, I mean, that is a very, very smart man with a basketball IQ. Very few GMs in any sport, for that matter, have IQs. They usually just have pocketbooks. They usually just have checkbooks. You guys are fortunate in that point. So I feel like it can be a little bit early, though, for you guys to move on and not see what this can fully do. Trade deadline is January, right?
Yeah, January 22nd, I want to say.
Yeah, mid-January.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So If you're OKC, I agree with maybe holding back and seeing what you can do with what you have, because I want to see you guys actually fit yourselves with what you have into that seventh seed. And I want you guys to compete, because I think maybe even you could dethrone a team at the very least, depending on who all lands. I mean, that's a long ways away, but you guys are playing with a lot of heart, and I like what's happening. Chris Paul got the whole team suits, got y'all all suited and booted. He's leading the team, bringing you guys back from 27, or I believe, it was a 27-point deficit for the W. All these things are spelling out good things for you. But J-Love is right. The future is bright, and you got to maybe get rid of some of those older pieces for the younger pieces to secure the future. Jake.
I have a pretty simple rule when it comes to the NBA when it's like the 4 to 8 seed. Usually the best player on a team determines who gets that spot. And I definitely think the best player for the 6, 7, 8 and a little past that is Lillard, and I think they'll sneak to the 7 or 8. Second best, Chris Paul. So I do think that Chris Paul will sneak in there as a 7 or 8 seed and make the playoffs. And I mean, he has a long contract. I don't think a lot of teams want to deal with that long contract. If he plays well next year, he might be worth something more, where he can maybe age into a different type of game. So I think you should keep him. And the contract concern isn't now. So you won't get the max value for him right now, in my opinion. If you see he can change his game and age into his, he'll be 35 next year?
36.
34?
36, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
35
yeah.
now.
So
he's the same age as LeBron, I think. He might be a year older. Let me check.
What up, Brandon Rogers?
I got a follow-up question.
Is 34. He's 34.
Yeah, he's a year younger because LeBron will be 30.
My bad. He's 35 in May. He's 35 in May.
Yeah, LeBron's 35. December 30th could be the same birthday. So.
Yeah, this month.
But yeah, I see him as a guy where if he can play a solid season next year, his contract might not be as bad as salaries go up in the NBA. So yeah, I think you should keep him and just, make the playoffs. OKC loves that team. The city loves that team. Just make the playoffs if you can.
Let's assume for a second that they do make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let's assume for a second that they do make the playoffs. Does this diminish Russell Westbrook's legacy?
No.
No.
I mean, he's a CP3 level player, right? You make the playoffs, lose in the first round.
Yeah, but he's also like 6 years younger.
Okay, wait. Let me just put this in perspective. What Russell Westbrook did with the roster he was giving is very comparable to what Chris Paul is doing, except for Chris Paul has a much better roster. Let's not forget.
Much better?
Wait, no, let's not forget here. Chris Paul has SGA, Danilo Gallinari. Russell Westbrook had who?
Paul George.
I understand Paul George. He was hurt for a lot of that time. Let's not forget that. And Melo. I understand he's playing better, but that's still not good. That's not competitive situations at all. Russell Westbrook's a much better player at the current standing moment than Chris Paul is.
Much better?
Much better.
He's not as efficient, I don't think, but he's
I got to agree with
more
J-Love on that
effective,
one.
I think.
Yeah.
There's a gap there.
Player.
Okay, you can't lie. There's a
gap.
gap.
I love
Chris
Russell
Paul's
Westbrook,
more
so
efficient for his usage, but
okay, but if you want a guy to carry the team, who are you taking? This is what we're talking about.
What's that? If I want a guy to carry my team, I definitely want Westbrook. I'm just saying that it diminishes some of the things I thought about Westbrook because a lot of people say, well, let me tell you why. Because in 2017, which a lot of these guys were there, not SGA, not a few other guys, but
by the way, are the second and third best players on the roster.
Yep.
What's that?
They're the second and third best players on the roster.
But he also lost KD, he lost Paul George, to injuries too. But my whole point is that a lot of people said, oh, he had next to nothing, and Billy Donovan's a scrub, and you look at this team. Not that. I'm just saying it's something to think about. At least it's not nothing. That I don't think his legacy is necessarily diminished because it's really hard to average a triple double. Even if you do goose a few rebounds, it's really hard to do that. You have to play at a really, really high level to do that. So
He still stole that MVP. That MVP was James Harden's.
I
I'll
agree
stick by
because
that.
they weren't even a top 4 seed. So I agree with you.
I think I've said this before on air. There's only been 2 players in history who were not a top 3 seed to win an MVP. Michael Jordan was a 4 seed, and Westbrook was the 6 seed.
Yeah, that's
Everybody else
unacceptable.
was a 3 seed and higher.
Like
No, I agree with you on that point.
Like I say, my answer is going to absolutely positively be no. Different storyline, different time period, different teams, different squads, so on and so forth. I'm just not going to disrespect Brody like that. So that's just where I stand. I just feel like for me to take any other take, then that is disrespectful as fuck.
Do you feel like the usage though is a little bit more divided now, and guys are just I don't know, I feel like they're
I
stealing
agree
the
with
ball a
that.
little bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
but
I'm
I
saying.
think it's because of Chris Paul can't have the same
Right.
usage as he does, and
They're
it's just not
completely
possible.
different players.
Yeah, Chris Paul cannot do what Westbrook does
No,
with the ball every play, and physically he cannot have the ball every play and have a play ran for him. It just does
You
not
asked
work.
me who I'd rather have. I'll take Westbrook because he's an Iron Man, but like for one game, like in the playoffs, I don't know, man. Give me Chris Paul.
Different. I agree with that. Yeah, Westbrook's not the best playoff guy. I will.
Yeah, so
Okay, I'm just saying lead a team. Regular season,
regular season lead team, Russell
you
Westbrook.
need to
all
get to
right.
the playoffs. You're
Oh,
taking
The
Russell
energy is
Westbrook.
ridiculous. With
And if you're not
Westbrook.
taking Russell Westbrook, I'm sorry, you're smoking something that I want.
You're smoking something I want. I feel you there.
let's go.
Ready for the next one? All right. College sensation. I can't talk tonight. Chase Wiseman has decided to leave
James.
Memphis. Oh, why does it say Chase? James Wiseman has decided to leave Memphis and prepare for the NBA. Poor decision or wise decision?
Who's leading off?
That happened because I was watching the fucking Chase Young breakdown.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
At the exact,
I'll lead off, I guess.
the
I
exact.
should have corrected it though because I do know James Wiseman. Anyway,
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I didn't fuck my life.
that's my bad too.
So, yeah, he should have left. I was shocked that he actually stayed to serve the suspension. At that point, yeah, he should hire a trainer, get ready for the draft, and just be a top 3 pick. Because from what I looked at on the mock drafts from ESPN, at least, I don't know how accurate those are. I like the composite ones better, but out of the picks that were top 4, top 5, only 2 were actually playing in college right now or eligible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's no reason for him to stay. I mean, the dude's a smart kid. He knows. And if he did play this year and got hurt, do you think it's worth playing in Memphis to make a maybe Final Four, Elite 8 run? No. And I love gambling on the NCAA tournament. I love it. It's fun. But those guys that are NBA players should not be in that tournament. I'm sorry. That's a college tournament.
It's like
Those
sitting on a
guys are
bowl
NBA caliber guys. Get to the NBA.
It's like sitting on a bowl game in college football.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
What does that NCAA? What does that ring tell you in 20 years when you hurt yourself in the final game? Nothing.
Robbie, you want to hit this, or do you want me to go?
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I'll go first. I mean, we all know I'm all about that money. Go get your money, young man. Because right now you're getting shit off the likeness of your name, especially in the state of Tennessee, especially out there in Memphis. Listen, it is your job as a man to provide and put food on the table for your family. And I am sorry. Once you reach the age of 18, it is your job to do so. In college right now, you ain't doing that because you're barely even you're pretty much eating ramen yourself. So absolutely, positively, yes. Especially after what you just went through, BS with the NCAA wanted to suspend you over what was it? What was it, J Love? You borrowed money or something.
Basically, Penny Hardaway paid. He didn't pay him to go to college. He paid so his family could move out into Memphis and transport them to where he's staying.
Exactly.
And since he was the head coach at the time, that was an issue. Personally, I think the suspension is a whole bunch of garbage and that they think he's too dominant to play. That's my opinion.
So no, what I personally think around it is the suspension was probably like a way that they thought that it was going to like pigeonhole him and make him want to stay. And if anything, that made him want to leave even more. Like I said, it is, and I figured, if I remember correctly, it was something around there, around something dealing with family and, Penny, helping out the family. Listen, at the end of the day, it's your job to take care of your family. And if the fucking NCAA wants to act an ass because you took care of your family or someone else helps you take care of your family, I don't give a damn if it's a coach or not. I don't give a damn if it's Penny Hardaway or not. And the only reason why it's a big deal is because it was Penny of all coaches.
By the way, not to mention, Penny Hardaway has been family friends with James Wiseman's family since he was a child. So not only was it a coach's decision, it was a family friend.
Exactly. Those are relationships that cannot be controlled. Penny went on record today and he stated, hey, we support him. Of course, I don't want a person to see him go, but it is what it is. And I understand because Penny was in the NBA. Listen, Memphis, y'all can live with it and live with the fact that the NCAA fucked you over, because had it not been for that suspension, had it not been for that situation, and had it not been resulting into the caretaking of his family, then he would probably still be there playing with passion as a young man wanting to go and get that Final Four banner. That ain't happening no more. He's going to the NBA so that he can take care of his family, and that's what the fuck you get, NCAA. You should have never played around. Because you lose
the NCAA is taking a bunch of L's lately.
Oh yeah.
I see so myself.
And Jake, I know you looked at the ESPN mock drafts that are out there. Let me guess who was in that top 5. James Wiseman was one of them because he's such a great player. LaMelo Ball was in there, and RJ Hampton was the other guy.
Okay, this is why this is why it wasn't credible to me. LaMelo was number 1.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball has a discussion to be the number 1 overall pick, but I think teams are going to get scared off for specific reasons.
Yeah.
James Wiseman made an absolute correct decision. He's not going to play this year. He was never going to play this year. The NCAA is.
Well, he would have. He would have come back in 5 games, but who cares? I mean,
what, for him to get hurt? I mean, I think.
What is that?
Honestly, I think they probably would have drug tested him every other game, and they probably would have tried to pull something like, oh, he was tested for this, and then he would appeal that, and then it would get limited, and then it would happen again, and they would just drag it out because this guy is just that good of a player. He's probably the best. I'm not over-exaggerating when I say this. In my opinion, he's the best college basketball prospect, NBA prospect coming out of high school I've seen in 5 years, 10 years. He's a generational talent. He's better than Karl Anthony Towns.
So,
he is better than one of the best bigs in the league.
Yeah. But I have an interesting idea here. So, 2021 rule, you cannot benefit off your name and get ads. So, January 1st, can current college players get money off advertisements?
That's no, it would happen next year.
Or is it a whole year? Does it have to be a 12-month period? So, these guys, even though it's 2020 or 2020, can't do it just because it's their class. Because it was 2020, if I recall, but I don't know if it's going to be this whole class can't do it or the date set.
It's the date set.
So then technically they could make money off their name January 1st.
And that's why they're trying, and that's why J Love is saying what he's saying. That's why if he stayed in the NCAA and he stayed in college basketball, they would have just kept drug testing him. They would have kept fucking him and just fucking just over and over and over.
Yeah. I mean, I agree he should have left. And again, I love the NCAA tournament, but it's for college players.
In James Wiseman's case, here's the thing. He's still going to go to the NBA Combine. He's still going to get private invites. He's still going to be a top 5 draft pick. He may lose out on what? $2 million a season, but once he gets that contract, because he's going to be that dominant and he's going to be that good, he's going to make 25 mil. No, I'm sorry. He's going to make 30 mil a season because it's going to be 4 years in the future, 5 years in the future.
Yeah. And I want to state this from an athlete.
He's still top 2. He's still top 2.
Like, I want to say this from an athlete standpoint. Basketball is significantly different than that of football. Basketball, if you got the ability, at the young age to go do it and go pro, go and do it. Football is a sport that takes development. It takes time takes your body to be conditioned a certain way and your body to be built and developed a certain way. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, So, young man, Mr. Wiseman, you got the ability to go and do it. We're encouraging you to go do it here on the network. What's the next topic?
Next topic is who in the East can beat the Bucks in a 7-game series, if anyone. Robbie J.
It's interesting. They just beat the Lakers. They just beat, pretty much the second best team in the NBA. If anyone I feel in the East is going to do it, it's going to be this team that's getting their ass whooped right now by the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm going to say the Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay, it's not my take.
Agreed.
Cool.
I feel like Embiid, Simmons, that the problem is anyone going to be able to keep up with the 3-point shooting that their bench can come off and hit with at any given moment. But I am going to roll with Philly. I believe that they're the ones going to be able to do it. I see that KN is actually going to be rolling with me as well on that one. Tobias Harris is a pretty decent 3-point shooter when need be. I mentioned before, Embiid's an impressive as hell athlete. So is Simmons. They got good bench pieces, so on and so forth. But I think they're probably the only squad out there that's really fucking with them.
Jake Miller, same question. Anyone in the East able to take
I was
down?
going to J-Love. J-Love seemed eager to make a counterpoint.
Take it away, J-Love.
I'm going to go on a team that's on a 20-6 streak as of right now. They started off the year 0-3. They have a big tandem that is insane. They have the best shot blocker in the league. I'm going with the Indiana Pacers. Still don't have their superstar back in Victor Oladipo. They have some of the best depth in the East. They have a great starting drive. They have the big tandem that we saw killed the Bucks last year. The bigs in Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. And guess what? You come right back this year with Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis. You have that offensive threat in Victor Oladipo. It's the Raptors 2.0 that can come right back and upset the Bucks.
The Pacers have always been surprisingly in the mix my entire life. You guys notice that?
Yeah. Oh, always a player. Yeah. Always a 8 seed to 6 seed right there. And maybe the occasional 2 seed.
Right.
Yep. And my take is the Celtics, I think, have a good chance in terms of just making competitive because I get Giannis will be the best player on the court. I like the 2 and 3, though, to outdo him. He can't guard both. He can't stop both. So I think there's some matchups there where Jaylen Brown or Tatum can go off. So that's my pick.
All right, Celtics and Pacers. I'm going to throw one more in there. What about the Heat? What about the Heat, guys? They've been impressive.
Okay, I understand you bringing up the Heat, but my issue with the Heat is that they're so young that them pushing into the playoffs is going to limit them. Jimmy Butler is going to be that lone, he's going to be that lone leader in that playoffs, and Goran Dragic doesn't have playoff experience. Justice Winslow doesn't have playoff experience. Even though I think they're both really good players, I think Bam Adebayo's defense is still going to be there. But these young guys, Kendrick Nunn's going to wear out towards the end of the season. Honestly, he looked awful last night against I don't know if anybody's watching against Philly last night. Kendrick Nunn looked awful. He looked like he didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
interesting.
Tyler Hero is going to wear out. Not skill wise. I think he's going to get tired because he's a rookie. He's going to hit that rookie wall. Duncan Robinson, same thing. Now, if this was 2-3 years down the line where the rosters are the same and these guys had experience, I think we're talking about a whole different story.
All right, Jordan Love, final NBA question, then we're going to move on, let Robbie J take over for some UFC. And obviously, Jake Miller is Rumboyz Combat, so subscribe to him, subscribe to Rumboyz Sports Central and Robbie J. All right, let's get to the final NBA question, which is something that Jake Miller wanted to touch on, which is where would be a good fit for Chris Paul? We touched on it a little bit earlier. He likes Chris Paul to Miami. Jake Miller, why don't you expand on that point?
Well, I don't see Chris Paul as a guy that's willing to be a third option. And today's league, I think there's a lot of 1 and 2s right now, and not a lot of 1, 2, 3s. So Jimmy Butler and Chris Paul would be very competitive in a weaker conference, and I think he'd be very happy competing in the Eastern Conference for the last of his career.
School the young folks.
I understand like adding him. Where would the money come from? Because Chris Paul's making 41 mil. That's the issue for me. I think
That's
it's a
the
good
issue,
fit,
yeah.
but you would have to throw Justice Winslow, Goran Dragic. You probably have to throw in a Tyler Hero. And guess what? That's still only
Well, Tyler Hero maybe not because he's pretty low salary rookie.
okay.
But
Let's think about it this way. It would have to be. I'm just trying. I know most of the contracts. It would be Chris Paul. You'd probably have to throw in a couple salary fillers off the Thunder's bench, like a Terrence Ferguson and somebody else. It would be Goran Dragic, Justice Winslow, and James Johnson, plus probably 2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
that's 3 contracts that are going into the
just
future.
not
That
worth it.
Yeah, I know. It's just a question of Riley. Will he go for it? Right?
If Riley can make a championship push, he will. He will.
Yes, and if the offer's there at his age, I think he will. I think he's feeling his mortality in a way of like, I need to make this run now. I need these 2 guys that can get me there. Weaker Eastern Conference, might be time.
Okay,
think about this.
Let me ask you this though. I was going to ask this.
Sure.
Earlier, I brought up the idea of sending him to the Nuggets, and that would be the deal I presented was
No
it
draft
would be
picks,
Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr.,
Yep.
and since they have a little bit of cap space sitting there, you'd probably also have to throw in another salary filler of about $10 million, which I think I'm trying to think about it. There's somebody there. You would throw that there and a first round pick. Would you take that, or would you take the Miami Heat deal I just laid out?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm taking
See,
the Nuggets.
I'm not sure the Nuggets would offer that. That's my question. I think the Nuggets are very focused on building what they have. That's my thing. Where I don't know if the Nuggets want Chris Paul.
I was gonna make this point. Pat Riley, I think he wants a bigger fish. To be honest with you guys, and this is something I was reading about in my Milwaukee Bucks breakdown. Is that if the Bucks don't win here, like 1 or 2 titles in the next year, Giannis is gonna look around. See who he wants.
Chicago, baby. Go to Chicago.
I mean, Chicago's won, but Pat Riley's probably thinking to himself, "Hey, why would I lock myself into Chris Paul when I can look in the future at somebody like Giannis, who's I think is a free agent before Chris Paul, which is
he is. Yes, Chris Paul hits the market 2023. Well, I should probably say retire in 2023.
Yeah, he'll be retiring. Yeah.
And Giannis hits the market in 2021.
Not that you could get him, but you could try. Anyway.
Yeah, Giannis will eventually play somewhere else. Just Milwaukee doesn't have that culture to keep a player around. Huh?
Unless they win like this year or next year, then I think he's gonna leave.
Yeah, it has to be this year or next year, and then if not, yes, Giannis will leave, and that's just natural. I feel.
Sad, but it is what it is. You kind of just have to. Like LeBron, when he signed his second contract, he pretty much he set the path out. He's like, guys, you don't have to sign that second contract anymore because of look at what I did. Going in his third contract, he was like, I'm not doing that ever again. And everyone's like, oh, you're a hater or whatever. And it's like, can you blame him really? Looking back.
No. I mean, you can't.
You're asking somebody who went through this, by the way, JD.
What's that?
You're asking somebody who went through this directly as a Cleveland fan. But no, I don't blame him at all. Yeah, I understand it. Dan Gilbert and him did not get along, so it made sense for him.
And you got to win.
It's a sport where it's all about winning rings and winning rings now. This isn't like the NFL where the NFL's very big on tradition and a lot of different things like that. Where the things will get done a certain way repeatedly over and over and over again. That doesn't happen in the NBA. But one thing that does happen in the NBA is small market teams suffer in seizure. It's happened throughout the course of history. They get good players and good players leave to go to better teams. That's what the fuck happens.
I think what's fascinating about the Bucks is like I don't think they're as dysfunctional as Cleveland. Cleveland couldn't get LeBron a second star until he left, and they got the number one pick like 3 years in a row. Then they finally got someone, and they whiffed on two of the first picks. And I just think it's crazy because it's like the best guy they got LeBron before he left the first time was Antoine Jameson, in my opinion, and he was old as hell. And it's like
So
10 years.
a little different there, though.
Not Big
LeBron
Z?
had total control of who he wanted in Cleveland. They were going to talk
Second
to
time.
whoever LeBron wanted to in the first phase of things.
First phase?
Oh, yeah, they were willing to listen. But
Okay.
at the same time, you're not going to attract guys. Because
And he
they don't
doesn't
want to get
know.
LeBron. They don't want to have – well, they would talk to him, but at the same time, LeBron having an influence here, they're not going to give Cleveland this star to keep LeBron because teams wanted LeBron. So they're not going to give a star to Cleveland. So it was a really bad setup overall. They were trying, but it was just the setup of we want LeBron. We're not going to give you our star, but we can get LeBron next year.
Right on. Yeah, it's I don't know if the same situation is with the Bucks, but I think that regardless, he's going to look around if he doesn't win. So yeah, I mean that's it for basketball. Unless you guys have any other quick topics you want to point on, we have UFC. Robbie, you want to take away for that one?
All righty. So yeah, here's my turn in the show. So UFC 245 was fireworks. All right. We all knew that it was going to be, but now who does Usman fight next? Also, this is the first time in history that Africa has two title holders, both in Usman and Adesanya. What are we thinking around this topic, guys? Jake?
Okay, so what I love about the UFC, my favorite sport, is there are 6 champs outside the U.S., and 7 of the belts are held by people outside of the U.S. Shevchenko, Adesanya, Kamaru, Nunez, and Lee, and now Volkanovski. So it's a great sport for that because you know who the best in the world is. But for the matchup wise, it's hard because Usman won, but everything was on Colby losing. And guess what Colby got? A matchup with Woodley, another big time fight.
Yeah.
Colby's act worked. He got another big time fight. It looks like also that Masvidal does not want the fight because Masvidal wants a money fight with McGregor.
Yeah.
And Usman's not a big enough star for him right now, despite having a title. I think Usman's stuck with Leon Edwards, who he beat in 2015 by decision. Because Usman, he won, but he's not a big star. And people don't know him. And people don't really care about him. They care that he beat Covington, but they don't care that he actually is a champion. So it seems like
I feel like
Masvidal does not need him, and it seems like that Edwards might take that title fight.
I feel like this was the fight that put Usman out there to a lot of fans that did not know who he was and did not honestly probably give 2 fucks about who he was. You know, but also, I mean, with that being said and with that being stated, you know, we know that Masvidal should be the next opponent for Usman if we want to look at the sport based off of rankings and what it should be competitively. But we also know that Masvidal's not that type of person. He doesn't give a damn about a belt. He didn't even really give a damn about a BMF belt. He cares about the bag. He's a guy. He's a street fighter. Well, not necessarily a street fighter. I mean, he did fight in the streets, but you know, he's a street guy. You know, from Miami, Florida, 305 Dade County. You know, one of the roughest, toughest, you know, parts down there. And now that he's made it out and he has a way of making money, he's just trying to make as much money as he can so he can reinvest it and take care of his family. I know that he wants the money fight with McGregor, but I feel like he can make himself the payday on that card versus just taking that card. If he really goes up against Usman, beats Usman, then you go ahead and now you take that money fight with McGregor. And it's like, yo, if you really want it, come get this fucking belt, motherfucker. Yeah. And now you're the inside of the house and you take the money. As for Usman, it does suck. It is going to be Leon Edwards because without there being any type of real press behind Usman's name, nobody's taking the fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we had this talk earlier, Robbie, too. Do you like your Masvidal's chances with a wrestler like Covington, Usman, or Woodley? He loses to wrestlers and jiu-jitsu specialists all the time. It's not a good matchup for him. He likes brawlers, and he doesn't want to kill his brand now, and that's going to hurt him. And he knows he wants a McGregor stand-up fight because that's what he could win.
Yeah, he can win. He can win the McGregor stand-up fight. It prevails his legacy a little bit longer, but eventually he has to realize you're going to have to take on those guys.
Yeah, you're going to have to fight the wrestlers of Woodley, Covington, and Usman eventually, but it's tough for him because he knows he can't beat those guys. He can't beat basic jiu-jitsu guys, and that's tough for him.
So then maybe he utilizes the time between now and if he ever gets the McGregor shot and trains on his wrestling so that after he beats McGregor, he now has the money. He goes and maybe that way, he goes and then tries to chase after the title. Then once he's a little bit more prepared, I feel like if you're going to be a businessman, Masvidal, go fight Usman now. And I feel like you should be Usman's next opponent.
Yeah, I do want that too. Yeah, I just don't see him doing it because his agents will tell him no.
I feel like it's perfect timing for Masvidal to go after Usman right here, right now. You go, you fight Usman, you take the belt, and then you just start knocking down all these little pipsqueaks along the way.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets the belt against Usman and he takes that fight, it'll be scary with his potential with McGregor. Because he'll be in that spot. And everyone knows it. If he deserves it or not, I don't know. I would probably say at that point, if Covington beats Woodley, he deserves that spot with Masvidal, because that'd be a huge fight too, over McGregor. But McGregor's going to get that spot, despite Covington deserving that spot, or Woodley getting that spot as well. But it's just hard because Masvidal does not fight wrestlers well. So he has to hold that off because he has one big money fight left if he loses. And I think he can beat McGregor. I really do. At 170.
Masvidal would harm McGregor. Masvidal would punish McGregor.
Yeah, I agree completely. And that's why I think he wants to fight now, because the smart way would be get the belt, get pay-per-view points, and fight McGregor for a 170 belt. But it's very hard because Usman knows and Covington knows Masvidal cannot beat those guys. He does not beat wrestlers yet. How long can he hold out on a fight? And it's very bad. It's very good and bad for him because he has a good chance to be successful, but he can really ruin it if he fights a wrestler too soon.
I definitely agree. With that all actually being stated, by the way, I want to shout out to the fact that for the very first time in history, that's why I did throw that in there. Two Africans, two Nigerians at that, have belts in the UFC. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yep, Jake, drink to that. Hell yeah. That's a beautiful fucking thing. That's never happened in this sport. And they're a culture. We both enjoy this sport. They're a culture that have been competing and fighting for a long time and have been waiting for a champion, and they got it. They got two. We thought it was a big deal when Adesanya took it for the people. But now also Usman taking it for the people. Shout out to the whole country in Africa. Shout out to any viewers that we have out there in Africa, out there in Nigeria. I know that we have a few actually. Cheers to you guys. You guys deserve that. We now turn our attention to McGregor versus Cerrone. Does Cerrone stand a puncher's chance against McGregor? I mean, let's just be honest with each other right here, Jake.
I want to say it's going to be a fun card to pay $60 for, but no. I don't like his chances. He just got totally starched by Gaethje, so it's going to be rough for him first. And two, he does not do well with people who are southpaws and have funky styles.
Yeah.
That is the perfect matchup for McGregor right there. So at 170, I would say that McGregor probably does starch Cowboy at this point.
Yeah.
And then he probably goes to Masvidal right away and figures it out. They get a good card going. Maybe March, April.
Well, no,
But yeah, I don't love his chances, and I hate saying that.
Yeah, April would be the Khabib card, and Masvidal would want to be the headlining event if he fights McGregor. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be
that
on.
maybe. Well, May is Vegas, so probably May at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. They would have to take the fight to Vegas for those two. They would have to take it to Vegas to where Masvidal can really harm them. No, I'm gonna say that first off, in any fight, anyone stands a puncher's chance. We don't know what McGregor's camp has really looked like as of lately. This has been the first time that his camp has been completely silent. This has been the first time to where not a single member of the media, it's not they can't get into the camp. I think that no one really gives a fuck to get into the camp, to be honest.
Oh, they want him ready. They want a new McGregor. Yeah, he's left alone. He'll figure it out. They want him to get back on track.
Exactly. I have even left him alone, and I'm very well known for trolling and messing with McGregor via Twitter. You guys can check me out at Rumboyz, spelled with the Z, Net.
I don't like the guy, you know that. So
exactly. I have to say, though, unfortunately, despite the ancient old philosophy of any and every fighter stands a puncher's chance, that this fighter does not. This is a quick, easy fight to set up for Masvidal, McGregor, or McGregor and any other opponent, or Masvidal and any other opponent for that one. 2020 is going to be an intense year for UFC. Expect us to be covering that very heavily. Make sure that you guys are checking out Rumboyz.com. Jake is one of the few upcoming young budding MMA sports writers in the industry currently. You're about a couple of pieces in so far, about 3 pieces in with us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Already 3 pieces in, and you can already see where his future is going as a writer. So make sure
I'll be up for the main event tomorrow, by the way. I'll be up for Korean Zombie at 7 a.m. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
Actually, here, it's just so you guys can see what everything looks like. Looks like JD kind of threw this up in here for us. Very nice, JD. And you guys can actually, you guys can actually check out some of the articles there on Rumboyz.com. Here, actually, just give me 1 second, guys. Oops. Wait, nope, not that.
Got that hamster wheel going.
There we go. So there's Rumboyz.com, guys. That's where you can actually check out all of these fine writers' work. These guys work really hard, and honestly, they are the full entire backbone of the whole sports industry. There's nobody bigger, there's nobody better than these gentlemen here. And that's actually, by the way, tonight's show.
Hell yeah. Good show.
What's
A lot of good topics.
Yep. Anything, let's see here. Trying to make sure that no stone was left unturned. All right, so we are good. With that being said, and with that being stated, see, there you guys go. There's a there's a Rumboyz combat article right there that you can actually take a look at and see. Masvidal, Usman, already talking about it. Jake Miller already talking about it, already putting it out. That article put out on my mom's birthday, by the way. Love it.
Happy birthday.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday.
Belated.
Happy belated, yes.
Yep.
Birthday.
I know, right? I can't believe that the person that gave me birth is like, hell yeah. But,
It's a good show.
But that is tonight's show. That is today's show. We greatly appreciate you guys for joining us. Once again, I want to urge and encourage every single person. If you are in the Colorado Springs area, us players that are competing in tomorrow's tournament, we have to donate, a $5 toy no matter what. But if you got an extra $5, stop at a store and get yourself or get a toy and drop it off Sierra High School tomorrow. It's going down. Toys for Tots Bowl, Rumboyz Fantasy Network. We're going to be out there. We're going to be showing a lot of love. I'm going to be on the field. We're probably going to shoot some footage out there so that we can get the vlog, get a vlog going for you guys for that event. I just want to make sure I use my platform for something positive. So I want to put that out there. If you're in the Colorado Springs area, check us out. We're going to go ahead and hit our round table right now to close up the show. We are going to start off with Jake, then J Love, then JD. And I want to know where the people can find you to get in touch with you, whether it's, in the Rumboyz Discord or Twitter. And then also, hey, Pat 1984 dropping the $5 for us. Don't know height.
So this man came through with
Cheers,
a donation randomly and even typed nothing in the chat, and he got the special edition sweater.
Pat 1984 is our biggest supporter, one of our biggest supporters. He's always showing love. Greatly appreciate that, guys. Treat up in here too. Leafs defense.
Appreciate y'all for watching.
He said, "Here's
Matt, man, appreciate it."
Hell yeah! Hey, we're trying to reach the point where we can cut checks around this bitch to get these young men paid. Jay, where can the people find you? What is coming up next off the presses for you, so on and so forth?
Hey, on the Discord, Jake Miller 1230, and as well, same thing, Jake Miller 1230, and on the Rumboyz.com, and I'm gonna put up an article in the next few days about the winner of the next fight, main event. If Korean Zombie wins, he might be in title contention. And I'm going to see how that can affect the fan base going forward because it's a big fan base having that Korean champ. So,
hell yeah! I like it. Jordan Love, Mr. Dirty Sprite over there.
Mountain Dew.
It's Mountain Dew. You say can't get Robbie demonetized. I love it. Hey, brother, what you got next coming up off the presses? I know that you're entering draft season, so you're about to get busy.
Yeah, entering draft season. Once this NFL season, mainly regular season, comes to a close, this is when my time's going to get a whole bunch busier. I'm actually on Christmas break starting today. I'm on Christmas break, so I got 2 weeks to get a whole bunch of film study done. That's what I've been doing for the past few weeks, so that's why I've been publishing a whole bunch of articles. Going through that, trying to find all these guys that usually slip through the cracks that end up making the backbone of teams. You see the Patriots, they build their roster through the 3rd and 7th round. Trying to identify those guys, hope everybody can get a grip on it. And, that's kind of my job here. So that's it. Find me on Rumboyz J Love on Twitter. And other than that, I'll be in here all the time.
Oh yeah, you guys! If you have not already, last year these were Sportscaster exclusives because we had film playing and stuff like that. We're gonna figure out how we can work it this year with YouTube, but for certain, we're gonna be inserting film into J Love's breakdowns this year. Go back and check out those college breakdowns. He's actually going to be joining me this year as well while we break down film simultaneously. So he's actually going to be on air, plus getting the articles written for you guys. Like I said, this is our Todd McShay here locally. So definitely make sure you guys are checking out J Love's content. I'm sorry for you, Jordan, but you got the hardest fucking job.
Hey, this is what I love to do. This is what I love to do, so I'm happy.
Exactly. Yep. Hey, and with that being said, right after this, get your ass back in the film room. I'm kidding. That's actually where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be back in the fucking film room, honestly, because I got a game in 12 hours. So I got.
In all honesty, I'm banging through all these offensive linemen right now, so it's rough.
studying how guards pull
No, I'm not on guards yet. I'm on tackles.
tackles. Oh God, yeah, I feel you. JD, let's turn the floor over to you, bro.
I have a Broncos article. I got a Portland Dame Dollar article on Rumboyz.com. I also been dropping a lot of JD rant segments. Most recently, I did my top 50 all-time NBA players. I think a few of them accidentally got compressed out of there, but the full list is in the description, and it's a great video to check out if you are bored. Yeah, Rumboyz Sports Central is the channel, and we have some news and content on there all the time.
Make sure you guys definitely subscribe to Rumboyz Central, Rumboyz Central Sports. He's got everything covered, especially in our Midwest region. But he also spans and takes care of everything. He's actually our chief editor. So everything that happens that these guys do, he's the one that's responsible for. Definitely check out his content. Subscribe to his channel if you have not already. He just gets the final approval to make sure everything is grammarly correct and everything. These guys, they do, both Jake and Jordan and the rest of our staff, Eric, all those guys, they do amazing work. SW Luke, he's now part of the team. All the team does amazing work. We're actually bringing on a hockey writer here in the next week and a half. All of our guys hammer out amazing work, but JD has been leading the way as our chief editor, and I fucking love it. And I love that he takes care of you guys especially. Check out his top 50 NBA video. Shit's fire.
That's a controversy right there.
It is a controversial piece. It's a good 30-minute piece that if you're sitting back, you got some time, watch.
If you want to argue.
Yeah, if you want to argue, it's the piece for you.
My comment section is welcome. It's a welcome place for all of you.
JD's channel is definitely the place where his comment section is a battleground post upload. Once it's uploaded, it's a fucking wrap. Other than that, fellas, y'all ready to do this?
I just hit my knee.
Yeah. I just saw the private chat. Oh my fucking God. Hang on, actually here. Let me actually go get a real fucking shot. Tonight has actually been a really good episode. Y'all just talks amongst the pride. Fans, I'm gonna go
I got a dislike on my video. Yes, I think that's actually better than a like. I think that counts as 2 likes.
Sorry for the comment, J-Love, man. I had to do it.
No. It's straight. I expected it, to be honest. I didn't expect it. The thing is, I didn't expect it from you. I expected it from Robbie.
Well, I kind of was like, yep, type that out right now. No doubt.
Yeah. Oh,
What happened, bro? You good?
well, I have a bruised knee already, and then I hit it on the corner of my desk when I reached back to pet my dog. So that didn't feel good.
Yeah.
It's straight though.
I got the pets literally out here. It's kind of perfect right now.
Yeah, I forgot it was me.
Yeah, I saw it got up. Yeah, my pets are right here, totally out of the shot. So
Who in the chat is going to see the new Star Wars movie?
I already saw it.
Hey, don't talk about it.
She's looking out the window.
Don't talk about it.
I already told you. I'm gonna spoil it.
Not seen it, and I probably don't plan on seeing it till it's randomly on Blu-ray.
Me too. I'm protesting.
If you like, I'm not gonna spoil it.
You're protesting?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not giving a mic.
hey, I saw the leaks. And I'm good, man. I know they're true.
I feel you. I've seen the leaks too. Actually,
if you like The Last Jedi, and if you like this trilogy, you will like this movie.
Yeah, man.
Hate this
That's
trilogy, it is torture.
Let's just end it.
I'll watch it. Oh.
Let's just do it.
Okay,
All right.
Hey, no spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers. Robbie doesn't actually.
Here's my water.
All right. Look. Yo, you're drinking water. Hold on. I'm literally breaking my goddamn rule. As I took myself out of my diet for you. Okay.
Hold on, guys. Come on.
I got a game tomorrow, man. I'm not even
That shot for you.
Yeah, I'm not even supposed to be drinking. I got a game tomorrow. Let's go. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What it do? Dilly. We appreciate all you guys. Sign up for rumboyz.com if you have not. Go get some merch. Support these young writers. We fucking love you guys. Cheers.
Yeah, JD. I think. JD and I probably